This movie is banned in 55 countries. In order to publish it, the producer had to delete 47 minutes of the movie. The main character is Nicola 6, who has relationship with 3 men. She once said, "There is no family that I can't break." People who watch this movie say, "She's the dream of every man." Just with a quick look she could know what type of girl you like, and then pretended to approach you, and eventually stole your heart. Nicola could play the innocent naive woman in front of the rich man guy, but could also be a sexy woman when she's with Keith. She would make you want her but can't have her, because things which you can't have are addictive. On that day, Nicola arrived at a pub. Right when she walked in, she drew all the men's attention. Keith started flirting with her. Guy didn't buy. He did try to be a gentleman. She didn't have to do anything, even light up the cigarettes. Just a look of her could attract everyone there, apart from a man named Samson, because he was too poor. So poor was he that he didn't dare to glance at her. But then Samson discovered that Nicola lived in the apartment above him. One day, Samson followed her to the park, and saw her dump a few books in a bin. Samson read one of them, and learned that Nicola had the ability to foresee death. She knew that she would die on her 30th birthday. Moreover, she would be killed by a man around her. So she wanted to find who would be the killer. This inspired Samson for a new novel. So he came to Nicola and asked her if she could be the central character of his novel, because he wanted to write a love-thrilling one. The plot would be based on her real life and wrote about her death. This made Nicola's life more interesting, so she agreed with him. From then on, Nicola told Samson about what happened to her every day. The next day, Keith came to find Nicola. He said he came to repair the households for her, but actually to approach her. First, he intentionally hurt himself so that Nicola would help treat the wound for him. Nicola took the chance and started to seduce him. So gorgeous she was that Keith quickly fell for her. He wanted more but was turned down by Nicola. The next day, the rich man, Guy, invited her to a date. She wore a white dress and made up like a naive woman. Won the dining table. Each of her gestures was very elegant. Nicola succeeded in playing a sweet, innocent woman. When they talked, she repeatedly gave signals to Guy. She also made up a story about a poor family. Hearing so, Guy immediately wanted to protect this gorgeous woman. He started to fall in love with her. That night, she told Samson everything she had done, and then went to find Keith. At this time, Nicola dressed up like a mature, sexy woman and made up carefully. Nicola directly took off her panties and gave it to Keith, which made him completely into her. That night, Nicola started changing her tactics. She told the rich man that, "We shouldn't have met, I don't need your money, let's break up." After hearing so, Guy immediately ran to Nicola's flat with his money to make up with her, but Nicola said she didn't need it. But Guy insisted on giving it to her. In the end, Nicola had both love and money. After Guy's leaving, Nicola called Samson and made love to him to thank him for writing about her life. Because she had run out of time, she decided to start her last plan. Nicola came to Keith and asked him to join a competition to gain the reward. Meanwhile, Guy suddenly came to her flat and saw Nicola being with Keith. To trap this rich guy, Nicola gave him what he had always wanted. Guy loved Nicola so much that he went home and offered to break up with his wife. That day, Nicola wore her prettiest dress and confronted her death. Samson gave her a birthday present and they made love as the last goodbye. Because it was her 30th birthday and also her dead day, whatever she did, she wouldn't be able to change her fate. Nicola went to the competition which she told Keith to take part in. She also invited Guy to there. She was very gorgeous today. When Keith was participating, she went around and lured other men. With her beauty, she could easily make the men love her. The rich man now knew that he was betrayed. Samson, standing aside, saw everything. Nicola took a car home. It was her last day. From her very young age, she had always had the dream of being murdered by a man in black car. Without hesitation, she came towards the car, but when she looked in, it turned out to be Samson. In fact, both Guy and Keith came there, but Samson chased them away. Over the past few days with Nicola, Samson discovered that he fell in love with her. Her vulgar death wasn't only an indignity to Nicola, but it was also a disrespect to Samson's novel. He wanted to put an end to this novel on his own. In the end, Nicola was dragged into the room. Samson printed it and placed the novel on Nicola's corpse. Then he lied next to her and died. The novel was also the last book of Samson. The next morning, the publicist came to the house and took the novel away. It then became the #1 bestseller all around the country, making Nicola and Samson's death meaningful. This is a movie based on a true story. This movie is set in London in 1985. It's named after its origin, London Fields.